Hello, another person at my table. Please could you introduce yourself and tell me why you're here?
Okay, so my name is Ian Forrester, and I work for BBC R&D in Manchester, in the UK.
Yeah, and why are you here?
Oh, so I'm here because my role is to look at kind of the edges, look at the things that are happening on the edge, which in the future will become the mass, and so I think that the Quantified Self is one of those things that's has been an edge thing for a while, but it's starting to become the mass with stuff like Nike and Jawbone and all these companies kind of piling into this area. It won't be long until it will just become a thing that everyone is using.
Mm-hmm. And what does the BBC have to do with that?
Yeah, so I think this is the question. As a broadcaster, what would a broadcaster do with this?
Yeah.
Now, we've got a specific technology called perceptive media, and it's still very much in prototype stage, but it allows us to change the story or change the what's on screen, the narrative, based on the implicit actions of the user. When I say implicit, I mean the stuff like sensors. So the sensors are feeding back to you. So I have a Fitbit. The Fitbit says I've walked about 3,000 steps out of my 10,000. So next time I watch a show, it could have within the show more stuff about people walking, just to try and encourage me to kind of get out of my seat and actually get out and do some walking or do some running, just be active. And that's a good thing generally, but also if you've done way over, you may recognise actually, okay, you've done 20,000 steps, you don't need to do any more. So let's give you some more quieter, gentler stuff, So it's changing the program based on sensors such as the Jawbone or the Fitbit or anything else.
Uh-huh. But why would the BBC be involved in this? Because they broadcast programs. Why would they want to speed me up or slow me down or?
I mean, it's all done within the scope of the storyteller. So the storyteller wants to get over a certain thing. Now, they would make certain parts of the story, so you could speed it up or slow it down. And this is actually what we do as humans anyway. So, for example, I could start slowing down, put more dramatic pauses into my conversation, or I could speed up and do it, So it's like what we do normally.
Yeah.
And, the overall effect is that you were kind of nodding with me, as you are now, or you could kind of speed up a bit quicker, then you kind of go, okay, it's really going somewhere. And that effect has an effect on the person. And if it is about, maybe kind of getting the person to actually get out of their seat and actually go for walks to help, society kind of get up and, enjoy the outdoors or something like that. So maybe there's, we've done quite a few live things where people have to go outside and view the sky or go view a certain place. Then that would be a great opportunity to kind of go, hey, you've not done enough walking, subtly. You should actually go for a walk in the hills. Here's a lovely picture of the hills that you're missing out on. That kind of thing.
But it still sounds like a task a broadcaster normally doesn't
interfere with the stream. So I think that one of the first things we do is first thing I got to say is that we're R&D. So we kind of look at the future.
Yeah, you look at what's possible.
What's possible. Yeah, what's possible right now, what's going to be possible in 10, 15 years' time. So we recognise that a lot of TVs and radios are starting to have sensors. So there's a Samsung TV where it's got a webcam on it already. And so it can see you. Mm-hmm. And right now they're using it just to control what's on screen with your hands and stuff. But imagine that camera is on all the time, and it can see you. It can see your sitting position, They can see if you actually pay attention. So you're leaning forward and going, oh, "That's amazing," or it recognizes like 5 people talking in the room. You know, and it starts to maybe lower the volume or something like that. And I know it seems a bit weird for broadcasters to be doing that, but actually we think that it might be the position of the broadcaster to do that in the future.
To not just a broadcast, but also encourage people to do things or to not do things.
Yeah, I want to make sure it's not mind control. But in the same way, it's like you get programs which will encourage you to think about certain things, or to, or to understand someone's point of view,
or to understand the world around you, or
exactly. So if you maybe it's a documentary about people walking across the desert with large barrels of water. Hey, experience it yourself. Go for a walk. 10,000 steps and see how you feel, that kind of thing. I mean, these examples are not great, and I'm not a storyteller, so
I like the story about the example of the walking in the desert. I
just quoted that one.
To me.
So basically, we're looking to see what other sensors there are, what kind of data we can get back from them, and to understand what people are doing with the data right now, because a lot of the stuff I've seen is very much, here's my data, here it is in chart form, here it is in the visualization, but no one's really thinking, we can use that data to do more than just show my friends. I can actually use that data to inform or to encourage people to also take part, or to do more of this or more of that.
Yeah. So is there something you have learned by coming here?
Yes. Actually, in a weird sense of way, I was talking to a woman in the breakout area, and she said that she was a interface designer, and she mentioned a website, and I can't remember the name of it. It's on my tablet there. I've got it written down, which allows you to use the sensors within a mobile phone.
Yeah.
So, because you can imagine, if you've got 4 people sitting around a table and with a TV on, they've all generally got one thing, and they've all got mobile phones. So if they all put their mobile phones on a table, and you can, if they've got an app running, and that feeds and helps us change the programming or change the bits of the scene, then that would be really interesting. And so that's kind of this kind of stuff that we found interesting so far.
Yeah. So now you're here to find things like that, to check out the field, to see what's going on.
Yeah, because I mean, I expect that in years to come, this conference will be massive, and there'll be lots of people from the likes of Nike and other companies coming along, and they'll all be kind of like selling their products and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they'll all be focused on very much, the kind of like the tracking, but we're looking at very much the kind of, okay, you've done the tracking. What next?
Yeah.
What can you do with that data? Yeah. Can you inform? Can you change? I mean, even this, for example, you can do stuff like, if you've got real time data, you can start to track. Okay, we showed you this sequence and that sequence, and the data readings we got from one sequence higher than the other. That it could inform the decision about something else, Yeah. So there's a whole lot of possibilities, and this is very, very early stages, and this is why we're here.
Yeah. So where will it go from here? What do you do with all this information? Are you building things yourself, or do you have a department that builds things themselves?
We've got we're split between London and Manchester, and we've got some projects which involve building stuff. We have got a prototype out there right now, which uses uses a couple sensors, but the sensors are on your computer. So you've got geolocation on your computer, and so within the dialogue, it will automatically slot in places near you. So, for example, if you're in London, it could talk about, I don't know, have you been outside recently? Have you been down to the Imperial War Museum? In Glasgow, it could be something different. In Manchester, it could say, have you been to the Lowry Theatre? It slots in stuff, because it knows where you are, and that's interesting. And
that's running already.
What's that? That's running? Yeah. That's at futurebroadcast.com.
Okay.
So you can check it out yourself.
Okay. Well, but does it give me advice here in Amsterdam as well?
Yeah, that's the one thing. It does work, but I think we tried to make it. Obviously, we're funded by the UK population, so it does work, but it's you'll only get landmarks which are within the UK, so you'll probably get lots of Isle of Man kind of stuff. So
maybe it will point me to London. That's always nice. That's
exactly.
Good.
So
what's the result from this? What have you seen? Do people like it?
I can't tell what results yet.
Very secretive.
We've got a paper that we're writing right now, which actually goes into the results. But I can tell you that there's some interesting stuff. I can tell you one. I'll tell you one thing. We did some prototypes. We took that on the road and we took it to like little groups. And we showed it to people in London, Manchester and Glasgow. And a woman almost jumped out of her skin when it mentioned a pub around the corner from her where she actually goes. She was literally like, it was magic. I can't understand how it knows that. And for a broadcaster and for a story writer, that level of like engagement with a story is amazing. I mean, it's just the stuff that you cannot buy.
No.
And this is the stuff that other broadcasters would love to be able to do. So I think that it's got a rosy future.
Okay, very interesting. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you.